Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. In this video, this perhaps might be one of the most important Cardano videos I have made to date, guys. I'm going to be telling you why I believe Cardano this year is going to go past $7.50, guys. I want you to stay tuned. I think Cardano is going to do fantastic things, and this is a video for you, for those of you out there who are feeling fatigued with being in Cardano. Make sure you pay attention, guys. That's all I'm asking for you, and share this video with your family and friends. We're going to get straight into it, guys. We're going to look at something called Elliott wave theory. We're going to move away from these shorter time frames and look at the market on a macro scale. And I'm going to give you the reasons why I think we're going to get to where we're going to get to, guys. So pay attention. Let's quickly look at a short-term time frame. We gave you an update yesterday where essentially we've removed the ascending triangle for the purposes of this video. But essentially, we were testing this EMA and we were testing the kind of bottom of the ascending triangle. And essentially, we said that if we break this, you could be in for some more downside, as typically this EMA will act as resistance. That would be invalidated if you pop above it and things continue to move upwards. But what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to move well away from the 4-hourly. We're going to keep the EMA on because it's another confirming factor, in my opinion, of where we are going to get to. Let's take a look at the weekly, guys. Let's take a quick look at where Cardano is today before we start. It's currently at $1.32, guys. So that is huge. If you consider that a $7.50 Cardano and what that would mean for market cap, we're going to get into it all in the end, and we're going to really be discussing whether it is or is not possible. So let's take a look at Cardano. Now, this is the weekly time frame, and of course, we are going to a logarithmic scale. It really sums it up perfectly, and we're going to be looking at something called the Elliott wave theory. The Elliott wave theory, I think it was Ralph Elliott who came up with this theory, essentially dictates that markets move in a wave-like structure that is comprised of 5 different sectors. In those, you do have smaller kind of Elliott waves play out. We're going to look at that towards the end of the video, but to keep it really simple for you guys and kind of give you, first of all, before we get into any more sort of technical stuff, the reasons why we think we're going to $7.50 plus. We're going to just focus on this basic structure for now, guys. And essentially, you have your first wave, and you have your second wave, which is a pullback, your third wave, which is another impulse, your fourth wave, and then your fifth wave. In the stock market, guys, typically it's the third wave that is the biggest. However, in the commodities market, it can be the fifth wave. So cryptocurrencies not being a commodity or a stock, we're going to see what happens, guys. And I actually do think that you could see some significantly more. You could see that fifth wave be absolutely astronomical. We know that certainly if we look at prior data, you know, it's usually towards the end of the year that everything heats up. We're going to get into it in this video, guys, so please pay attention because this is super, super important. This is going to really give you a good view of where this project is going. We're going to not even touch on the fundamentals. We're just going to look from a charting kind of point of view. And then if you add the fundamentals onto that, you have a really strong case. So let's map out, guys, together the Elliott wave theory. So you have your one wave here, guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to make these nice and thick. Everybody loves a bit of thickness. We are going to let's find a color that really stands out. Yellow, maybe, perhaps. Yeah, yellow. We'll use yellow. So you have your one wave, then you have your two wave. You then have your three wave going to the top. And we have been saying, for those of you who've been watching my ADA updates on a daily basis, we bring you daily ADA updates, so get subscribed for those. We have been saying we've been watching this weekly 20 EMA, and typically, you know, once you kind of lose a bit of momentum, you will start to gravitate back down towards it. However, I'm not 100% convinced that you are going to kind of just roll straight over to it. I'm kind of expecting... you know, you can kind of go back to $1. That would be absolutely normal. In fact, that would be something we would like to see. For all we know, guys, this pullback could be over. You know, there's no kind of set rules. There's just kind of guidelines to follow with Elliott wave theory, and we're really going to touch on that in a second. But essentially, this fourth wave doesn't need to. The only kind of rules that you follow is it's not as deep. You're not going to go sort of back to the one wave, essentially. You can go right the way down to it, but you're not going to go through it and then back to it. So what would that dictate, guys? So if we are, and this is what we're expecting this big third wave to take place, not only for Cardano, but the entire market. Where is that going to put us? Well, how on earth could we dictate that? We could use the Fibonacci, which we are going to do in other videos, but we're going to focus on the Elliott wave theory for the purposes of this video. Fibonacci's, I find, are a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. They are extremely good, but I don't want to overcomplicate anything. We're going to really focus on the Elliott wave theory. Like I say, I can't stress enough to you guys how important this is. For people who are looking and jumped into this project and don't really have a clue and are kind of sat in Cardano at the moment thinking it's not really doing anything, do not fear, all in crypto is here. So what is coming next, guys? Well, we said that typically in the stock market, it's the third wave that's biggest. In the commodity wave, it's the fifth wave. And typically in the stock market, the fifth wave will, in some ways, resemble the first wave in terms of its kind of movement. But I actually think in the cryptocurrency market, it's usually the last wave that is kind of that blow off top. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the most kind of pessimistic scenario. So we'll go with the sort of how the stock market works, and we're going to measure wave 1 in terms of percentages, and then we're going to apply that to wave 5 and where we could perhaps get to. We're just going to take a rough kind of guide. So wave 1 essentially gives us around about 467.3% in terms of a return. We'll show you that again, guys, very, very quickly, and then we're going to fly on and we're going to map out this fifth wave, but third sort of impulsive wave. So if we take a look, guys, we'll go from the bottom. You want to kind of ignore the wicks. Some people like to go off the wicks. I don't. I think the candle bodies and the close of the candle is significantly more useful. So we can see, guys, it's around about 467%. So let me try and remember that. So yeah, so let's say that we do correct down to $1. It doesn't have to happen. We could have impulse from here, and we come closer to that EMA, which we've kind of been keeping an eye on. We're going to go up 400 from here. We're going to go up 467% and see where that takes us, guys. Where are we? So we'll do 465%. So that would take us just below. We'll put that back on here, guys. That would take us just below $6, guys. So that's not a bad return, and that's if we follow the stock market. Now, why is it that I believe that certainly when we look at this Elliott wave theory, it's going to play out in more of a kind of commodity style? Well, if you go back to 2017, you go back to how altcoins and Bitcoin performed, they essentially made their biggest leg towards the end of the year, guys. So we are following 2017 in an exceptionally similar fashion, guys, that would dictate to me. So we've got a very pessimistic scenario here where we follow the stock market, and the fifth wave is kind of similar to the first wave, and it's not as big as the third. That's a pessimistic scenario, and that gives you a ADA price of essentially $6. This is all rough, guys, but I hope you're understanding where I'm coming from here. Elliott wave theory is relatively reliable. We're going to get into it in a little bit more of a technical stance and really show you why I think it is playing out in a second. So that's pessimistic. Now let's take the, just giving you a number of scenarios that could play out here, but I'll give you the one that I think we're most likely to kind of take. Now let's take the third wave, guys, and that kind of percentage, which is 1,400%, guys. And let's apply that to what potentially could be happening. Like I say, remember, we know that usually it's not until the, wow, we might even need to go up some, guys. We'll do 1,400, as close as we can to it. That would give you a $15 Cardano price, guys. I mean, wow, you know that. So your third wave would actually look, you know, like this. And you know, it depends really whether the cycle tops out. I don't think this. I think, you know, if you had the right kind of things take place, you know, that's actually, you know, it's not out of the realms of possibility. But ultimately, guys, I'm not so convinced that we are going to get to $15. I think anywhere between sort of $7.50 and $10 is probably more likely. I don't think it quite does that percentage. I just don't think it's going to get as far as that, guys. You know, I really don't, unfortunately. I think that it's It's going to do very well, but I think, you know, you're looking at more of a kind of a third impulsive wave that, you know, is going to take you anywhere from sort of $7.50 all the way up to sort of your $10 mark before we then have that blow off top. And if you follow the Elliott wave theory and we continue to follow it, you essentially will, and this would coincide with the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory and a number of other things, guys, you will have that corrective wave. Ultimately, nobody knows how impulsive this fifth wave is going to be. You can take your best kind of guess. You can look at, you know, how things traditionally play out, but ultimately I think that you're going to be bigger than your first wave, perhaps not as big as your third wave, somewhere in the middle, and I think you're going to make, you know, a price target of around about $7.50 upwards, and if you throw the fib in there, it comes up around about between $6 and $8. You can depending on how you want to kind of map your Fibonacci out. But ultimately, guys, once we have this, and we've been saying this repeatedly on the channel for a reason, once you've had and finished having this kind of pullback and consolidation period, you are back off to the races, guys. And how do I know that we're following the kind of Elliott wave theory today? Well, what I want to do, guys, is we'll keep these waves on. We'll just make them a bit smaller. And one real confirming factor to me that we are following Elliott wave theory, if we make these smaller and we use a different color, I'll show you that actually, in actual fact, inside of these sort of waves that we've mapped out for you on a kind of macro scale, you are indeed having smaller Elliott waves take place, guys, and you can really see that today, and that is a real confirming factor to me that we are indeed following the Elliott wave theory, guys. So let's change color here, so you can see that you're actually having what we'll do is we'll make this bigger just for the sake of kind of showing you what's going on here. Yeah, we'll make them white. So you can see you're actually having smaller Elliott waves take place inside the kind of bigger Elliott wave theory. So that kind of is a confirming factor to me, guys, and I'll draw these very rough. That kind of dictates, you know, that you are indeed, you know, following the Elliott wave theory, in my opinion, guys. And ultimately, I think if it's playing out on a kind of smaller scale, it's going to play out on the bigger scale as well. That's certainly dictated. You can see that's your Elliott wave theory there with your ABC correction. That we think is going to come on the macro scale. That of course would coincide with the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory, and the fact that, you know, we could be entering another bear market in 2022. So you can see I'm just mapping this out very, very kind of rough, guys. You know, and you are set for your ABC correction just now. That will then kind of, once you bottomed out, start that sort of fifth impulsive wave. And you can see here, guys, you know, you have the kind of three waves play out within a wave. Very interesting, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Like I say, this is just a real rough price prediction, but ultimately, you know, we've looked at both scenarios, whether we follow the kind of stock market scenario where, you know, your third wave is your most impulsive, or whether we follow the kind of commodities thing where your fifth wave is your most impulsive. Who knows, guys? I mean, nobody knows for certainty exactly where this fifth wave is going to top out, guys. You know, but we will see. You know, we'll see. But ultimately, Cardano, and bearing in mind we've not even touched on any of the fundamentals, why it's such a great project. Right now you have Dogecoin above Cardano. We've spoken about that on so many occasions, about how it's just another signal that Cardano is extremely undervalued. Let me know what you thought about this content, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I thought I'd keep this video as real as possible, try and keep it very, very simple, cover something called the Elliott wave theory, and really kind of let you guys know exactly where I think the price of Cardano is going and why I'm so bullish. So please share this video with your family and friends. A like is always appreciated, guys, and get subscribed to one of the fastest and realest growing YouTube channels, because we are growing on a daily basis, and I'm going to be here day in, day out, well into the bear market, well into another bull market, and so on and so forth. I'm here for you guys, so I want to know your feedback. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next video. See you later.